This is a fantastic comment, and I'm so glad that you wrote it because a lot of people struggle with this very thing. It's hard to think about what you want when your reality reinforces what you do not have. Don't nobody want to hear no woo-woo stuff when the bills are due today, right? But if you will allow me, I want to show you how I reframe this conversation and adjust energy. I'm an energy worker, which means that through our exchange, either we're having a one-on-one reading, a conversation, or you're coming into contact with my content. You should feel better, some form of clarity or relief after interacting with my stuff. Okay, class, this is a fist. This is a $50 bill. In order for this fist to receive this $50 bill, this hand has to be open. The way to open this hand is to be in alignment that this hand needs to be opened. Follow me. The emotions that present themselves when you speak about a particular topic reveal the distance from your alignment. Therefore, if I start to talk about money and I can only talk about the money that I don't have, that does not align with me having money. You see how there's a misalignment there? If I'm focused on the things that I do not have, I can't even open up to possibilities, thoughts, actions, anything that will put me in alignment with having money because it's two different ends of the spectrum. So what do, class? We don't talk about money at all. When our emotions tell us that we are stressed about a subject, that we are anxious, that we don't feel good about it, in that moment, we don't talk about it. Because the more that we talk about, think about, feel about something, we magnetize more of that. I don't want to close off both fists. All right? So what do? We change the subject entirely. And I typically go with the Feng Shui Bagua, which I'm going to put on here right here. And there's 9 different areas of your life. And in order to shift energy, because everything is energy, we have to find an area where you currently feel rich, abundant, aligned, safe. We have to find an area that has that feeling in order to start to wiggle the money thing, right? We have wealth, family, spirituality, reputation, health, career, relationships, creativity, helpful people, and travel. Right now, I would say one of my easiest areas for me to think about is spirituality. Why? Because when I'm in that realm, it's easy for me to find the answers. Therefore, I would start to think about that topic whenever I get stressed about money. I'm going to switch completely and talk about something different. And I'm going to talk about and reaffirm like my spiritual practice. I have a thriving spiritual business where I have clients who have been loyal with me since the start of my career. When I started this thing over 15 years ago, it was just me and a dream, me and some thoughts and feelings. And I've been able to have people who were with me then still with me now. I feel rich. Okay? Then I started to think about all of the things that I've done. I've taught classes. I've learned how to run an online business with this. I've learned so many things behind the scenes on how to make this business work from a professional standpoint, even though it's a creative and spiritual endeavor. I'm feeling better. And I just start to continue to talk about and think about the ways in which this particular sector makes me feel in control, successful, joyous. Then I might go back to money. Now, how do I feel about money now? I know that my business has the potential to make a lot more money. The hand is opening a little bit better. But I'm not quite there, so I'll close it off and go to something else. I might start thinking about my health. Wow, I feel really grateful that I can do the things that I want to do. A year ago, I could barely even walk. This is a true story. I had a car accident. I could barely even walk. I can walk now. I can go to the gym. So I start to think about those things. This is how you shift your energy. And until you're able to think about money in a way in which it's not fearful or stressful, then you don't. You don't. Because what happens is if you open the faucet from other directions, that's where your insight will come in. So if I start to think about something that I'm doing well, my spiritual practice and things of that nature, then this hand is open. It may not be open for the money the way that I think, oh, maybe in my mind I need $2,000 by tomorrow. It may not come as $2,000, but it may come as an idea to think about a new offering that I can give to my loyal clients. It may come in the idea to reach out to somebody and have a conversation, and through that conversation they're able to give me information that ultimately leads me to more than the $50. I think I only got 52 right here with me right now. But we're going more than. Ultimately, I'm saying this. Everything is energy once you start to think about it. Because if I'm a person who constantly says, I don't have money, I don't have money, I don't have money, even when I get a little piece of money, something's going to come up so that my words are a self-fulfilling prophecy. If I'm a person who believes that abundance is my birthright, abundance is my natural state, and I live in a space where my mind, I'm human. I'm still going to have lack and I'm going to experience those things, but I'm not going to give too much attention. Let me know if this makes sense to you, because I love this stuff clearly. And honestly, I remember being in that space myself where before I purchased my house, I'm just going to be honest, before I purchased my house, I had a bunch of life events and no one ever taught me about money. I had to figure it out through making several mistakes. And once I did figure it out, it really started from me saying, I want something. I believe it's possible for me to have it. Let me move in the direction as if it can happen. So when it came to buying my house, it was like, let me get information on what that process even looks like. Let me figure out where my credit needs to be. And then it was just like, how can I reduce my debt so that my debt to income is different? And then I got the idea, let me pay my car off early. Let me negotiate paying off my car early. So I think I owed something like $7,000 and I presented to them, let me only pay $4,000, and they let me pay $4,000. I had never had that thought prior to me moving in the direction of believing this thing was mine. Completely understand what it feels like to be in a situation where everything seems to reinforce lack. But let me offer you this. The majority of the thoughts that we have are recycled. They're not new. And a lot of them are attached to the things that we don't have. Therefore, we find ourselves 5 years from now, 10 years from now, having the same struggles that we had before. Maybe, just maybe, it's time for us to think about new struggles. What would it feel like to have more than enough? Do you think about that? Do you think about what it would feel like to not have to struggle? Do you think about that more than the reality that you have created to this point? Because the truth of the matter is, once you align completely with your version of abundance, there is nothing that can stand in the way. Nothing.